Like Julian, I have seen this discussion from both sides because I'm a parent and have also been a teacher. And I'm a firm believer that it's parents that bring up children, and it's not for the school or the state to do it, but the school and the state have their own job to do, and part of that is to try and help parents in every way they can to interact with the teacher doing his or her job. And it's clear that from the report there's no doubt about the importance of parental engagement in helping children to fulfil their whole potential in their education. But I think in communication what's really clear is that both sides, teacher and parents, should try and see things from the child's point of view. Because if you do that, it takes away barriers. And that's absolutely important to put the child at the centre. As far as removing the barriers are concerned, I think it's very important that we should leave the schools to do it in their way, because schools are incredibly creative at doing this, but of course share best practice, and I think that's the sort of thing that the Teacher Support Network and Parentline Plus can do. But we should let the schools do it in their own way, in the way that suits their particular community and their particular setting.
It's a real serious debate, and I think it's been long overdue. I think that, first of all, I'm going to come from the perspective of a parent, because I think the questions we have to ask ourselves are this: what do we want, first of all, from our schools? Then what do we want from our parents? What do we want from our teachers? And I think we've really got such mixed messages now going on about what our expectations are. You know, I've often, and I've got many friends who are teachers who are absolutely fed up to their back teeth, to be quite frank, to not only be a teacher, but also be a social worker, to be the little nanny nurse, and everything else that goes along with it. And that's because I think we've sort of gradually moved away from disempowering parents and sort of therefore feeling there is a need that somewhere along the line, because we haven't got the sort of networks that perhaps we grew up with, that the school place must be this sort of wonderful panacea, this place that is now going to be a surrogate parent, a surrogate family, a surrogate everything else that society throws at them. And I think that's a difficult place for schools and teachers and parents and children to be in. And I think the first thing we need to do is re-establish what we really want from our schools. I think we've got to get rid of the hang-ups we have about what we want to see as cloned little beings and reintroduce into our own, in our own lives first and foremost, but then follow that through with our engagement in schools. If you are a parent, my plea to you all is that, you know, parents have huge strengths and powers, but we need to be able to use them. Because what we want to be able to do is work parents with schools and teachers in partnership. I think that's what's been lost. I remember my mother when she came to this country, couldn't speak a word of English, but by God she turned up to parents' evenings, which frightened the living daylights out of the rest of us. But the engagement was there. The parents knew that at the other end there was somebody who would take time to listen and explain.
It's my view, within cities like that, we have a very large, a very diverse school population. Cultural literacy, well actually, no. All teachers ought to come out of teacher training with cultural literacy, and that should be kept up throughout their school career. Because actually I was wrong to say what I said. All teachers, however diverse or not diverse their school is. Of course it's particularly relevant in some areas, but cultural literacy ought to be part of the armoury of any highly qualified teacher. So one of the challenges in talking about parent-teacher relationships is how do you move past the form of it, having a PTA sending out emails, and making sure that you're engaging with the complete spectrum of parents in your school. That is, in a sense, more taxing than sending more emails or putting out a multicoloured newsletter. But until we have genuine parent-teacher communication like that, certainly in London schools, we will continue to see some of the problems we have.